The one thing to remind you today, it is the best of 5 tie-break sets, not the best of 3 for the championship. And they're playing for a first prize of $456,000, the runner-up $240,000. And we welcome all new viewers to ESPN International and all its affiliates around the world in Central and South America, Australia and New Zealand, and the Middle East and Asia, to our coverage of the final of the NASDAQ 100 Open. I'm David Mercer, delighted to be with you. And this is Roger Federer, the Swiss #1, playing in his first Tennis Masters Series title against the man who has won more Masters Series titles than anyone. Andre Agassi has won 12, including this title 4 times. At the moment, it's a lovely, sunny but windy day in Miami, and there is just a threat of rain, so we're keeping our fingers crossed.
Hey, make sure that when Agassi goes to sit down, he's got that
Roger Federer, the man who hasn't lost his serve in the tournament, will get the final underway. Federer is that he can hit his backhand either way, cross-court as on that occasion, or down the line, so difficult to anticipate. Lovely stuff from both of them. So if Roger Federer was feeling a little nervous coming out to play the biggest match of his life, he certainly didn't show it. I'm sure there will be bigger ones to come. Of course, he's beaten Pete Sampras at Wimbledon. Not many people have done that. Certainly not in recent times. Andre trying today to equal what his wife did, win this tournament 5 times, Steffi Graf. Agassi's 22nd ace of the tournament. Federer served 23, so nothing to choose between them in that department. Just a bit of a slap, really, on that volley from Agassi. Didn't need to go for such a big swing. There's Darren Cahill, the new coach of Andre Agassi. Of course, was coaching Leighton Hewitt till the end of last year. And they're really getting on like a house on fire. So an immediate chance for Federer to break. There's Peter Lundgren. So what a start for Roger Federer, an immediate break of serve. Well, delighted to welcome into our commentary booth the man who coaches both Todd Martin and Xavier Malisse, and that's Dean Goldfein. Dean, thanks for joining us, and I want to start by Federer.
Yeah, you know, Roger, I think is you know, coming out with a plan, and his plan is to take it to Andre and be aggressive. You know, he gets it back there and just let Andre dictate play today.
Well, really, against Marcelo Rios in the semi-finals, Andre never quite found his rhythm out there. And it seems as if he's just struggling for timing.
14-15.
First ace for Federer. Andre doing a good job there, taking Roger's second serve early and you know, putting a little pressure on him. That's you know, actually the first second serve point that Federer's lost. So you know, Andre needs to do a better job of that as the match goes along. So the chance for Agassi to break back immediately.
We're wasting an opportunity here to stay on top of Agassi, and you know, he doesn't want to let Andre back in this match early on. A lot of times the beginning of a match can really make a difference for the rest of the match.
Agassi breaks back immediately. It's 2-1. Yes, as you were saying there, Dean, so important for Federer to consolidate that break, and he's failed to do so.
Yes, and this is the thing. It looked like Andre got off to a little bit of a shaky start. Maybe a little nervous. Didn't play a great first service game there, and then Federer gets ahead 40-15 on his serve, and doesn't bear down, and played a couple of loose points, and Andre now is back on serve. And yeah, it doesn't look like much. It's just the beginning of a match, but like I said, a lot of times, the beginning of a match can kind of set the tone for the rest of the match.
And it's a huge occasion for this young man, isn't it? Because it's by far the biggest match he's played.
Without a doubt, and I just reading some of the newspaper articles down here, Roger, he wants it now. He feels like this is his time to really step up to that next level. And this obviously winning a Tennis Master Series, I think, puts you up in that next level, and obviously with his ranking as well, it'll put him up in, I would believe, in the top 10.
Yes, certainly if he wins this match, he's in the race. He's third at the moment. If he wins, he goes second.
Time.
So it really is a huge occasion for Roger Federer. So 2-1, a break of serve each. This the final of the Nasdaq 100 Open, the second of the Tennis Masters Series events of the year 2002. I'm David Mercer alongside Dean Gelfine, coach of Todd Martin and Xavier Malisse. You going to the Davis Cup with Todd next week?
Actually, I'm not. I'm going to use the time to stay at home, spend some time with my wife and my little boy. Federer with another forehand unforced error. I think that's going to tell the difference in this match. He needs to try and dictate points with his forehand whenever he gets the opportunity, but obviously needs to keep the unforced error count down low.
Certainly Federer looking rather hesitant all of a sudden.
Yes, very unsure of himself, and this is sometimes the beginning of a match. You get the adrenaline flowing, that can kind of carry you through a little bit, but then once you start thinking about things, I think it looks like Roger's got a little tentative.
That's much more positive on the other hand.
Exactly, and that's what I think Roger needs to do to be successful in this match. Whenever possible, take the ball a little earlier, not give Andre a chance to recover and get into the net behind those balls, make Andre come up with some passing shots. Great point, and that's what Roger needs to do. A couple of big forehands there, putting some pressure on Andre. You see it. Roger step up from inside the court, getting his weight going forward. Much better.
And 40-15 back to juice, as in the last game.
Agassi.
Perhaps getting a little carried away on that attempted forehand.
Yes, he was starting to feel it a little bit and took a pretty big cut at that one. Sometimes he needs to know when to pull back and get the ball back in play.
Now, I don't advise you to go swimming off the beach today. There are some creatures who believe that the sea belongs to them, not to us. And I think they're right. I've never wanted to argue with a shark.
No.
2-2 first set, a break each.
Another forehand unforced error by Federer. Right idea, trying to take that a little earlier and hit it down the line, maybe get in behind it. Like I said, he needs to find that right balance right now.
And that is a problem for a young player, isn't it? Particularly one as naturally talented as Federer.
It is. But here he did a good job of taking a little something off his first serve, then cheating a little bit and hitting the forehand back inside out. That's a tough thing. It's a tough thing at any time to try and find that right balance, especially when you're in your first final of the Tennis Master Series. Big time like this. A lot of times the guy will struggle.
Got himself into a bit of a tangle there, Federer. He thought, I think, about running around playing the forehand and ended up with the feet in the wrong place and too close to the ball.
Exactly, and I think he needs to be a little more decisive. And when he hits a good shot like that, right away, look to hit a big forehand after.
Well, it's the big serve that comes to his rescue that time. And it's 3-2 in the opening set. Dean, we've talked quite a bit about Roger Federer. Let's talk about Andre. I was saying before you joined me that if he wins today, it's his 700th match victory. I mean, his has been a remarkable career, but with its ups and downs.
Yes, I think that has been the trademark of Andre's career. Is obviously he's incredibly talented, but at times he's had, I think, motivation problems or times where, he hasn't been able to really get up day in, day out to play match after match. And that happens sometimes with guys where it tends to come a little easier for them. But at this level, no matter how talented you are, you still need to put in that hard work day in and day out.
And does having a new coach, I mean, taking nothing away from what Brad Gilbert did with Andre, but having a fresh input from Darren Cahill on the left there, is that a way of keeping it all fresh, keeping yourself motivated?
Definitely. I think, after you've been with one coach for a period of time, a long period of time, that things can tend to get stale. And, there are a few exceptions, and I think, you constantly, as a coach, you have to try and find ways to keep things fresh, keep things exciting. And I think Brad did a good job of that for a long time, but, I think it got to a point where Andre wasn't as motivated.
There's the situation in the opening set. It's best of 5, remember, today. 2-3. Glasgow wanting a towel cleared away, which was blowing around in the breeze.
15-all.
Andre's second ace. Only 2 winners from Andre so far, and both of them aces. 6 winners so far from Federer, just the 1 ace. Always likes to play ball boy for himself in those circumstances. Going to have to serve deeper than that.
Well, yes, you're exactly right, and that's a great play by Federer. I think that's what he needs to do more of this match. He needs to try and pressure Andre's second serve, get in behind it a little bit. If he's too content staying back and playing balls with Andre, he's going to be in trouble.
He's doing a good job on that, because so far Andre's won just 1 point behind his second serve out of 5.
And that's a point there where I was talking about looking at Peter Lundgren. I would think that he would want Roger, time after time, to try and take some backhands on some second serves, chip and charge a little bit, make Andre do something. Because then what happens as well is that, Andre feeling like, he's not really going to have to hit a lot of passing shots off second serves. It's going to make him a little looser on his first serve as well and be able to serve a little better.
So a very competitive start to this match. This is only the 6th game, and here's the 3rd deuce game.
Agassi again utilizing that wide first serve. We saw that the other day when he played against Thomas Johansson. That's one of Andre's favorite plays. Likes taking his opponent off the court, opening things up for him.
One thing Federer certainly did in that rally was mix the pace of his shots. One really blitzed backhand and then a few little slices as well.
Exactly, and I think that's another thing that you need to do, because if you let Andre get into too much of a rhythm on his ground strokes, then again, he has such good timing. He's just going to start moving around so much. Andre doing a good job so far of mixing up his first serves.
And of getting a lot of them in, 70% so far, compared with 63% for the tournament coming into this match.
Game, Agassi.
So another long game, couple of deuces. Agassi holds, and it's 3-all.
Got hit in the head.
It'll be interesting to see as the match goes along if Federer decides to start serving volleying a little more, mixing it up, trying to keep Andre off balance with his returns. Looks like he was going to do it there.
Yeah, he was certainly moving forward.
noticing there. It seems like maybe part of Andre's game plan is trying to hit the ball a little shorter, angle it off a little more, instead of letting Roger just stay back there at the baseline hitting through the ball.
And Cahill will be saying, all right, we've been behind so far, but now this would be a good time to press. 7th game. 15-30. Good. Yes. Starting with a brilliant service return, and he has 2 break points to move ahead for the first time in the match. Ace from Federer. But it's Agassi who moves in front for the first time. Too many errors off the forehand side. Agassi leads 4-3. And Dean, we all know that Andre, once he gets his nose in front, he's pretty hard to rein back in.
Yes, he is, and you know, he is a great front runner. You know, Andre, it seems as the match goes along, if he gets ahead, he just, you know, his confidence just builds and builds and builds. And especially now, I think he's in great shape. And I think when you're in good shape, you feel like, you know, you can just stay out there forever. And you know, so what Andre's been doing in a lot of his matches is getting ahead, and then just not really taking any silly making any silly errors. Just trying to hit a lot of high percentage shots, saying to his opponent, okay, you know, I'm ahead, you come ahead and try and beat me now, try and get back into this match.
Yeah, and it's all the question of experience. We can have a look at those errors, and as you were pointing out, Dean, that it's the forehand that's been letting him down.
Exactly, and you know, I think Roger's backhand is more solid of a shot, but with the forehand, he tends to try and win more points with it, control more points with it, and you know, today he's a little bit off, and you know, that tends to happen sometimes to him.
One other statistic we could tell you about is he's come to the net 4 times and won every single point, so maybe he's got to be thinking do that a bit more.
Exactly. You know, I think when Roger played Agassi last year at the U.S. Open, he got killed that match, and he said, you know, I need to be more aggressive this match, so let's see if he starts doing it.
(4-3), Agassi in front for the first time with the break of serve.
That's a little bit what I was talking about, Roger there, trying to pressure Andre's second serve, and you know, obviously missed that one, but I think that's something as the match goes along, if he is persistent with it, it can pay off for him. It seems to me now that just from these last 2 points that Roger kind of realizes that you know, he's got to take the play a little bit more to Andre and try and be a little bit more aggressive.
Nothing you can do about that, though. Lovely swinging serve from Agassi. Not a quick one. Brilliantly placed. He has 3 aces to Federer's 2. Andre with a fair number of unforced errors himself. 10 in the match, just one fewer than Federer.
Andre's settling into this match. Doesn't seem to be as sharp as we've seen him earlier in the week.
Oh, yes.
Cheers.
Great play by Federer. Realizing that ball's a little shorter, playing back behind Agassi.
Advantage Agassi.
With long, and Agassi does what Federer was unable to do, consolidate the break. So Roger Federer, who hadn't lost his serve through the entire tournament, has lost it twice now in this opening set, and he has to serve to stay in the set. Found the outside edge. Federer not entirely happy.
It's close.
We're sitting firmly on the fence.
Yeah.
Good use of the feet this time by Federer to get alongside the ball.
30-15.
Great return by Agassi. Taking that ball early, hitting it up the line, not giving Federer any chance to recover after his serve. So Andre's so good at it.
Another forehand error. Another break point for Agassi, and this one is set point. And when you consider he lost the first two games, he really is dominating now.
Exactly. And that's what he's got to do. And he did a good job there of mixing up his serve, hitting the kick to give himself a little more time to get a little closer to the net. And Andre actually hit a good return. But Federer is a very capable volleyer.
Returning so well now, Agassi. Another set point. Oh, yes. What a way to wrap up the set. 35 minutes it took, and Agassi wins 6 of the last 7 games. Take the set, 6-3. Stunning way to claim the set.
Yes, it was, and I think that epitomizes Andre's game there, with the good return, Federer with a nice volley, but Andre getting over there, great footwork, able to get behind the ball, and great down the line backhand passing shot.
Well, we can have a look at the statistics of that opening set. You can see Andre with a noticeably better first serve percentage. Fewer winners, and actually if you look at the winners unforced, Federer with a deficit of only 1, but Andre with a deficit of 4, you think, well, how come he won the set so decisively? But better shot selection, better execution on the points that really mattered.
Exactly, and the thing is, again, is that Andre doesn't seem to really be taking a lot of chances a lot of times through the set, but he's very content letting his opponent make the mistakes, and I think that doesn't happen. Not too many guys feel like they have to win the points, and they forget that, hey, it counts the same if you win it or if your opponent loses it.
Yes. So Andre Agassi has the opening set in 37 minutes, 6 games to 3, 3 breaks of the Federer serve, which is remarkable when you think Federer had gone the whole tournament without losing his serve once.
It is, but it kind of shows how a lot of times out here, it's that old saying, when it rains, it pours, and guys will be going great and not losing their serve, and just kind of, everything seems to be clicking, and then sometimes then as soon as that one little bad thing happens, it tends to snowball a little bit on them. So let's see if Roger, can turn things around right now.
Well, there's the view from the Goodyear airship down on Crandon Park. There's the outside courts there, the food courts. Hospitality tents.
Thank you.
Second set, Agassi set. No change of shirt, no change of colour, but at the moment no change of fortune for Federer.
Also no change of tactics so far in these first couple of points.
So Andre now playing with a great deal of confidence.
Andre getting a little more aggressive at 40 love. You know, it's interesting because, you know, I watch Roger play a lot during the year. He's actually played Xavier twice so far this year, and you know, both times he's played him, he's tried to pressure his second serve a lot, and obviously I don't think he's doing it enough here against Andre. And he's very effective with it, and I think that probably shows the respect that he has for Andre's passing shots. But, you know, still, I think that's his game, and he needs to try and play it. That's the way he's going to be most effective. And I think have the best chance to win.
That's a bad miss from Federer, and the run of games against him continues.
First game, second set.
5 in a row for Andre Agassi. Do you find Xavier is inhibited when he goes out to play some of the really top senior guys, that he has too much respect for them?
Definitely, and you know, that's something that I think happens with most guys. There's a couple of exceptions, a couple of guys who feel like, you know, when they first get out on the tour that, you know, hey, I belong here. You know, I can beat these guys. But, you know, besides those couple of guys, I think most guys, it takes a while. You have to play them a few times, you know, and kind of figure out how they play and get that confidence that, hey, I belong to be out here. You know, I can compete at this level.
Leighton Hewitt never felt like that, did he?
No, yeah, that's one of the exceptions.
Straight out there at 16. Beats Andre Agassi.
Obviously another guy too that comes to mind is Michael Chang, you know, winning the French Open, I think when he was 16. 17.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and serving underarm against Ivan Lendl in the French Open and beating him. Ivan was not happy.
no. For some reason, I'm not sure what it is, but it seems like more women, you know, when they first come out there, kind of feel that way, that they can compete at that level.
Well, my wife would tell you, and possibly your wife as well, that women mature so much younger than we do. We're still little boys, really, even when we get to up my age.
You're 100% right.
Oh, yes. And that's a super shot.
That's a great point. Federer doing a good job. The big forehand down the line, right on the line. But, you know, he had to hit, I think, 3 or 4 great shots to win that point, you know, and that's going to be tough for him to do. And that's why I say I think he really needs to look to try and keep getting in.
Larsgraf in with a very quick overrule. Not everyone in the crowd agreeing, but perhaps not looking at it with neutral eyes as he is.
Not much of an argument from Andre, so I think it was a good overrule. Federer there. Seeing Andre playing so far back to return, I figured that was his opportunity to serve by a second serve. And you know, again, that's what he needs to try and do, is try and mix things up a little bit. Try and keep Andre off balance, because if Andre knows what's coming, he's awfully tough.
It's a really important game, that one, for Federer, having lost the previous 5. 1-1, second set. Certainly he's finding the forehand down the line.
Yes, and you know, doing a good job now. As you can see here, playing back behind Agassi. You know, Andre moves so well, so sometimes what you need to do to neutralize someone that moves so well is play some behind him. He did a good job there of that. Taking some chances. Andre reading the pass. Federer with the awesome forehand topspin lob. Getting pumped.
What a superb stretch volley from Agassi.
Wow, that was a great shot that he was able to get that back in the court as deep as he did. Full stretch, ball just floats back into the corner. Missing the topspin lob long, knowing he had a chance there.
With that last forehand, Roger Federer, Agassi holds, and he leads by 2-1 on serve, second set. When you're working with a young player, how difficult is it to teach him shot selection? I mean, there's the one thing about the technique, and obviously Roger's got brilliant technique, but it's a question of playing the right shot at the right time.
Exactly, and that is one of the most difficult things. And you know, the big problem is that you have to try and get them to realize, at certain situations in a match, what shot needs to be played. And the thing is, it's not black or white a lot of times. A lot of times there's a lot of gray area. And so what you need to do is they have to be able to have that feeling out there during the match, with what's been going on. Has your opponent been making a lot of mistakes? If he has, well, then maybe you need to play a little safer. Give him a chance to keep making those mistakes. But obviously, if he's been just ripping winners left and right, then you need to step it up and try and be a little more aggressive and take the play to him. So, it can't always be, listen, at this situation you need to do this, or at that situation you need to do this. So as we look at Rod Laver, who was a master of that and kind of knowing, what to do against a player at certain times in a match, obviously being aggressive, but so it's something that's very difficult to teach to young players. It takes, I think, periods of time for them to learn that stuff.
Agassi leads 2-1, second set, having won the first.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Roger Federer had it all to do, having started so well, won the first two games of the match, but since then it's been quite a struggle.
Federer again stepping in early, taking that forehand early up the line, not giving Andre the time to recover after his shot.
So quite a difference, although Agassi has just dropped off in the second set, just 42% in this second set. Federer too struggling in the second set at 43. Such a key set, this one, for Roger Federer. 2 sets to love down against Andre Agassi. You don't fancy your chances.
No, especially in these conditions. A little hot out here today.
Third ace for the man from Switzerland. And a second love service game of the match for him. The first being the very first game of the match. Seems to be struggling on that backhand slice at the moment.
Yeah, he is, but that's what he needs to try and do. Too many times he's just getting that second serve return back in play, and then Andre's able to take control of the point from point A, and I think he's going to have a tough time winning if he just gets the ball back in play. He needs to take some more chances and be a little more aggressive.
So a couple of quick games, just 1 point against the serve in the last 2 games. And Agassi leads 3-2 in the second set. Darren Cahill was saying this week that he thinks Andre's good for another couple of years, that the enthusiasm for the game is still there. Would you go along with that?
I think so. I mean, You know, and I think that's the key. You know, Andre's enthusiasm for the game. You know, people always ask me about Todd. You know, is this Todd's last year? And you know, I think obviously the big question mark with Todd is his health. And I think Andre, you know, just seeing him more now, he's in the training room more often and has some nagging injuries more than he used to. He never used to be in the training room. But, you know, I think if his body can hold up, that, yeah, he's going to keep playing. And another thing, too, with him is that, you know, Andre kind of had hiatuses, you know, a little bit here and there, like you were talking about earlier. So I think Andre can definitely keep playing for another couple of years, you know, as long as that desire and he's having fun, which it looks like to me he is.
Sure. As we saw the wrist strapping that he's wearing at the moment. Wrist injury that kept him out of the Australian Open. Finals day at the NASDAQ 100 Open. Crandon Park in the lovely island of Key Biscayne in Miami, Florida, Miami-Dade County to be precise. Jim Courier, of course, lived in Dade County for a long time. Always used to be very rude about it. He used to call it Dead County. It's probably a little unfair.
That is definitely not Dead County. Especially where Jim lived. Jim lived over on Fisher Island, which is right next door to South Beach.
Yep.
And it's definitely not dead there.
Here's trouble. Here's big trouble for Roger Federer. A couple of loose points. And he's down love 30. Already down a set. Can't afford to go down a break.
Love 40.
It's a poor game this from Federer, and he's presented Agassi with 3 break points.
Federer saves the first one with a good first serve. Agassi with 2 more.
That's a surprising shot from Agassi. Yes, the shake of the head says it all, but he still has one more chance. Oh, that's wild. That's a poor game, and Andre Agassi may well have this match by the throat now. Set up 4-2 up. And as we were talking a few minutes ago, it will not be easy at all if you come from 2 sets to love down.
I think that game by Federer there was a perfect example, David, what you were talking about earlier about trying to teach a guy, you know, the shot selection. And I think there, you know, Roger just looked a little unsure of, you know, what he wanted to do, if he wanted to be aggressive or pull back a little bit. This is something that I think from this match he'll learn, you know, and get better and better.
Love 18.
1 hour mark. The way this match is going, we may not reach the 2 hour mark. Very similar last year when Andre was again playing someone in the first Tennis Masters Series final, Jan Michael Gamble. And Andre put him away in straight sets.
Showing a little frustration, actually doing a good job of playing some defense first couple of shots, but then finally got a hit at it and maybe went for a little too much.
It's all going wrong for Roger Federer. Andre Agassi strengthens his grip on the match. A set for 5-2.
New balls, please.
And Andre doing the right thing. I mean, if we look at the statistics from him, he's only had 8 errors, 8 winners, which is half as many as Federer, but he's not giving away the 3 points.
Exactly, and you know, I wouldn't say that Andre is particularly sharp today, but you know, I think that's a sign of a great player, a sign of a champion is knowing, you know, kind of what you need to do to win a match, especially if you're not playing your best tennis. You know, you can't always go out there and be at the top of your game. So the challenge is being able to figure out a way to win when you're not playing your best.
By cutting out the unforced errors, as Andre has in this second set, and Federer, although there's a slight reduction, is still too many. So Federer with a lot of thinking to be done. And I suppose that again is something you as a coach look for in a young player, the ability to change the pre-plan, as it were, the game plan when it isn't working.
Exactly, and you know, obviously Roger has a certain style, you know, a certain game plan that he's going to go out with each match. But there's certain players that's not going to work against. When it doesn't, you have to be able to make an adjustment.
The sun is shining on Crandon Park and on Andre Agassi. There's the situation. Remember, it's the best of 5 sets, so he's not just 1 game away from victory. He's a set and a game away. But I don't think many people will be rushing to place bets on Roger Federer if there's 2 sets to love. Well, maybe the bookies will be generous and offer odds of 1,000 to 1, but in my experience, the bookies are never generous.
No. If they were, they wouldn't be in business.
Agassi literally drills this forehead.
Right. All or nothing, just basically, you know, not one to have a long point there. Again, going for a similar shot, but this time not successful. And that's the thing too, you know, is once you get up a break in a set, you know, a lot of times you don't want to expend, you know, unnecessary energy. So here, you know, Andre just trying to keep the point short.
Thank you.
And too, Andre obviously has the capability of pulling these shots off, more so than most other players.
sort of swinging from the hip. I've got the opportunity to serve for the set, so let's go for broke. And if I don't make it, well, not the end of the world.
Federer there in that game being a little more aggressive and making a few ventures to the net, you know, and that's now what he has to say to himself. Geez, you know, I'm a set, almost 2 sets down, possibly. You know, what can I do to try and change things around? I mean, you know, he can't keep playing the same way. So obviously trying to be a little more aggressive, you know, get to the net when he has an opportunity.
Needs to break the serve badly. He's serving for the set. Well, that was interesting that Andre didn't really react. Did he think it was going long?
I think actually he was reading cross court. I think he thought he was originally going to go cross court, and you know, then possibly thought it was going to be long as well.
Left seconds.
And that was a little lucky. Net called right onto the service line. On the second serve when he's down love 15.
Federer again just not able to find the range on that backhand, trying to play a safe shot, keep back in the court, but the backhand now in the second set has started to let him down a little bit.
Finds the forehand though.
Agassi making one of his few ventures to the net. Federer with the great angle passing shot.
And if there's one time you don't want to shank a shot, it's then. The opponent's serving for the set. You've got him at 15-30.
Thank you.
He was way off on that one. And again, going back to that last point, you know, Federer, I think, passed up an opportunity to put some pressure on Andre, especially at 15-30.
And the big first serve from Andre, 123 miles an hour, gives him set point for 2 sets to love. And he has it after 69 minutes. Agassi leads by 2 sets to love. He's on his way to a 5th title. Let's see what the statistics for the second set will tell us. Agassi's first serve percentage went right off. Federer's actually improved, but again, Roger's got a smaller deficit between winners and unforced than Andre, so you think, well, how come he keeps losing the set 6-3? But he does, and you can see Federer didn't have a single break point opportunity. Indeed, he's only had the 1 break point right at the start of the match, which he converted. Andre's now had 8 break points in the match.
And I think even though Roger has a smaller deficit, you know, from winners to unforced errors, he has 11 unforced errors, you know, and that's 11 points that Andre's won as opposed to the 6, you know, that Roger's won off Andre's unforced errors. And like you said, you know, some of those big points where Roger makes those unforced errors obviously end up coming back to haunt him.
$456,000 awaits the winner of this match. $240,000 to the runner-up.
Time.
Andre Agassi, well in control of this final of the Nasdaq 100 Open, leading by 2 sets to love. 6-3, 6-3 over Roger Federer, who apart from winning the first 2 games has been playing second fiddle really throughout this match.
Stay both on the same side.
One of the things that, again, I'd like to go back to on that last game is, at 15:30, Andre was serving, and Roger had a second serve, and I think that's where he's got to say to himself, okay, I'm going to make Agassi come up with the hits here. And he didn't do that. He just played the ball back in the court, let Andre take control of the point. And a lot of times in these matches, even if it's a 6-3, 6-3, 6-4 match, you can look back at a couple of points and say, well, this could have been a turning point in the match. And Roger isn't, taking the risk on those points to get the reward, to turn the match around.
Yes, it will be interesting to see if Federer tries something radically different now. Needs to do something different. There's the serve and volley. And there was nothing exceptional about the volley, but it won him the point.
Exactly, and that's the thing, it's tough for a guy to point after point after point have to come up with passing shots, no matter how good you are.
Look at Rod Laver, the Rockhampton Rocket, only man to win the Grand Slam twice.
First game, first set.
So a couple of aces from Federer in that game, 5 in the match. And really you think he needs to break the Agassi serve early as we look at, that must be, I would have thought, South Beach. Very crowded indeed. And not too many people in the water. Shark alerts in force. Too many points cheaply conceded. As the ball back in position, you can see top left. Is he as fastidious about these things in ordinary life as he is on the tennis court, Dean?
Yeah, he is. Andre's, I guess, a bit of a neat freak, and having things in order, so it definitely carries off the court as well as on. If you ever notice Andre with his racket bag, he has, as we take a look at the replay real quick, Federer with the great forehand down the line, but Andre puts everything in his bag in the same place, knows exactly where it all is. And it's in perfect order. And after the match, he does the same thing, sticks it all back in there in exactly the right spot.
Federer, and here's his first chance to break since the second game of the match.
Federer getting a short ball off the big forehand up the line. The winner, and Federer now starting to do a better job he's slicing his backhand a little bit more. You know, trying to give Andre a few different looks and different pace. All right, let's see here. I think this is where he needs to put some pressure on Andre, not just get the ball back and play.
That's precisely what he didn't do.
Exactly. And Peter Lundgren there wondering, I think, saying, listen, Raj, you need to get in. You need to be a little more aggressive. Here again, Andre wanting the ball boy back in his position.
Well, Andre, if you're going to drop shot, it's not a good idea to lock.
Andre with the attempted drop shot, like David said, looked a little bit more like a lob. Federer had plenty of time to kind of just do anything, whatever he wanted to do with it. Agassi with a good first serve. Again, not big speed-wise, but doing a great job of mixing up his locations.
Agassi.
Agassi holds, saving a couple of break points, and you wonder whether Federer will get any more chances to get back into this match.
Exactly, and that's the opportunity I'm talking about again. Just like that last game of the set before, here's a chance to get up a break. In the second set, maybe get a little momentum on his side, but not able to do it. Darren Cahill, happy about that game. The fact that Andre was able to get through it. By no means is it easy, for a guy to want to take those chances. But you have to, when you're down there playing, be thinking, well, what's not working for me? And then think to yourself, okay, well, I'm not really winning many points when I'm just sitting back here rallying with Andre. So, maybe here I should take a chance and try and be a little more aggressive.
Comes in with the footwork there, Federer. He's trying to play it off his right foot rather than the left.
Yeah, good forehand, and then just didn't move his feet, just didn't get to that ball. Took one big step and instead of taking a couple of smaller steps. It was off balance.
He's getting a few aces victory already in this set, 6 in the match. Federer leads 2-1 on serve. Agassi by 2 sets to love.
Amen.
Do you sit down with your players and watch a video of sections of a match and say, look, you know, there was the opportunity, this is what, don't you think if you did this, you might have been able to take that opportunity?
Occasionally I will, but usually what I like to do is after the match. You know, maybe not right after, but, you know, at some point, you know, sit down and talk to them and you know, I have a little journal that I'll write in and say, you know, what do you think about at this, you know, point that maybe you could have been a little more aggressive, or maybe you could have, you know, tried to get a couple more, made your opponent play a few more balls, you know, so stuff like that. Yeah, and here's a perfect example, you know, of what we're talking about, is that Andre's only won 4 more points, he's up 2 sets to love, and that maybe those 1 or 2 points that Roger would have won by being a little bit more aggressive, it could have been 6-4, 6-3 Roger's way.
Yeah, that's, it is remarkable, isn't it? When you think in terms of games, Agassi's won 5 more games and yet only 4 more points. It should be 20, because obviously 5 more games, 4 games to 4 points to a game to win. But yes, it just illustrates the point Dean is making about those really important points, those little windows of opportunity. Some of the cruise ships in port. This week in the Bahamas or the Caribbean, perhaps. Would it be too corny to say Andre Agassi's cruising to victory here as we look at one of those gigantic cruise ships in Miami Harbor? Andre leading 2 sets to love, 1-2 down on serve.
Love 15.
Not everybody in the crowd agreeing with that call. Federer finds the line and he's threatening the Agassi serve again. Now, surely, Dean, this is the opportunity. Love 30 if he gets a second serve.
Exactly. I mean, there's no better time than right now. You know, he's, like you said, he's up love 30. If he gets a chance, you know, take a chance, take some risk. Andre doing a good job of taking a little something off his first serve, only 101 miles an hour, making sure he got it in, so that, you know, that wasn't able to happen. Keeping Federer pinned at the baseline. All right, let's see right here now.
Andre waiting while the ball boy returns to his position. Well, in fairness, Andre came up with a big second serve.
He did. He definitely did, and Roger did a good job of getting it back in play. And that's the thing, you know, you're obviously not going to be able to do it every time. And obviously, Andre knows that Federer's going to try and get in. But
well, he has 2 chances to improve that percentage. Andre
again with one of his favorite plays, the wide serve to the forehand on the deuce side, and the forehand down the line.
Still break point though. Federer has the break this time. And people longer and leaves the applause as there's a little bit of hope. Now what Roger has to do, which he was unable to do the first set was consolidate the break.
It'll be interesting to see now because hopefully Roger can gain some confidence from this, maybe loosen up a little bit. Andre, like I said earlier, I wouldn't say he's exactly sharp, So I think if Roger can keep momentum on his side and keep pressing Andre, making him come up with good shots, got a chance to get back in this match.
Let's second first.
Now, have a look at the crazy scoring system. Federer's won one more point. He's 2 sets to love down. Some points in tennis are worth so much more than others. Good game for Federer, though. He does consolidate the break this time, and it's a good fight back by the young Swiss. He's ahead, 4-1 in the third set.
And this match now actually makes me go back to last week at Indian Wells when Todd Martin played against Yevgeny Kafelnikov. And Todd beat Yevgeny 7-6, 6-3. Yevgeny won more points. And Todd actually, Yevgeny though I think it was 1 for 12 or 1 for 11 on break points against Todd. And afterwards, the press asked Todd, about the match and about that he had won less points, and Todd said, well, that's the beauty of our scoring system, is that there's more emphasis on certain points than on others, and it's true, and that's what makes our game one of the things that makes it such a great game.
Yeah, he constantly throws out little crises, little moments in the match. Situation the other day with Andre, I think, converting 2 of 14 break points against Rios. Now, for Andre to go those sort of stats is virtually unheard of. But he was struggling desperately, he had all the chances to break, and you can see the frustration growing in him as he wasn't able to take them. But an interesting scenario with Federer up 4-1. If he can close out this set and say to himself, hey, it's a hot day, it's an old man down the far end.
An old man who's in pretty good shape.
Roger Federer has fought back well in the final of the NASDAQ 100 Open in Miami. He leads 4-1. It is only the one break in this third set, but frankly, I think most of us were thinking when Agassi went 2 sets to love up that this would be a straight sets victory. Now there's a distinct possibility that Andre may have to go back to work in the fourth. Just an hour and a half gone, the match rattling along.
David, I think this game here is great, presents itself a great opportunity as we see Andre coming in, the little backhand angle volley. But for Roger to continue to be aggressive, be maybe a little bit more aggressive. He's already up a break. He's got nothing to lose, really. So why not, keep the pressure on him? He can afford to take a few more chances.
Really not doing anything at all, just slicing it back down the middle.
Exactly, and like you said, just basically getting the ball back in the court, right back to Andre. Andre stepping in, taking that ball early, driving across court.
Game, Agassi.
Fourth ace from Andre and his first since the first set.
Federer leads 4 games to 2.
So he stays in contact. Federer needs to hold his next 2 service games to claim the set, and that's not going to be easy.
50.
Unless he can get a lot of free points with decent first serves. First serve percentage in this set from Federer is an outstanding 73.
Left for serves.
And I think that the thing that stands out even more is that he's won 5 out of 5 second serve points this set, which against Andre, that's pretty tough to do. Now seems to be getting more and more confident. Doing a good job taking that ball early, driving it through the court. Andre not really reacting very well to it.
Just a moment of wildness from Federer, perhaps a little loss of concentration, thinking I've won this game at 40 love. And has won it to 15, and Roger Federer moves to within 1 game of taking the third set.
5 games to 2. New ball, please.
And when you see Federer play a game like that, apart from the sort of one aberration at one point he lost, has always struck me as the most complete of the young players, and with more strokes at his disposal, a greater variety of stroke play than anyone.
Exactly, and Roger is a great shot maker, and he is, like you said, able to hit great shots from all over the court. It's obviously a great thing to have, to be so well-rounded, but then I think a little bit it comes back to be a curse to him, and from the fact that he should utilize his ground strokes more often to get to the net more, and I think sometimes he doesn't do that, because he feels so comfortable from the backcourt, he doesn't, get to the net and make life easier on him, make the point shorter, keep from having to hit 3 or 4 great shots each point, which he's capable of doing, but a lot of times he would only have to hit 1 or 2 and finish it off with a volley. It actually reminds me a little bit of Todd. When I first started working with Todd, that was the challenge I was presented with. Todd obviously hits the ball great off the ground, has great returns, but wasn't utilizing his 6'6" frame and getting to the net and getting in behind those big shots. So, Todd does a much better job of that now.
Well, rain was in the forecast for this afternoon, but delighted to say it's kept well away. And Roger Federer is threatening to extend this match just when we thought it might go in straight sets to Andre Agassi. Agassi finds himself 2-5 down in the third set, serving to stay in it with new balls. Oh. And there's an example of being really aggressive on the return.
Exactly, a little mishit, but nice and deep. Got in behind him, didn't just give Andre a chance to get the ball back in the court. What that does by Roger being more aggressive is that what he can do is take Andre out of his comfort zone. You know, make Andre go for a little bit more than he's really comfortable in doing.
40, 30.
He's certainly going for his aces. There's 5 and 6. Still a lot of double fault in the match. I hope I haven't put the kiss of death on it. Uh-oh. Agassi holds from 5-3 and says to young Roger Federer, "You want this set? You serve it out."
5 games to 3.
I'm sure would have been saying at 1:30, take the set here, take the pressure off yourself.
Exactly, but even though he badly mishit that return, you know, I think that was the right play, trying to be more aggressive.
15.
That doesn't half help his 7th ace. Now
Federer looking a lot more confident in his decisions. You know, they're doing with conviction, with good kick serve, getting in behind it.
14.
Terrific serving. 77% of first serves in this set, and it's one of the reasons why he has 3 set points.
If he wins this point, he'll end up finishing the set with 100% wins on the second serve.
And he does. Bursts it out to Love. We'll go on to set number 4.
6 games to 3.
The Swiss flags and the Swiss cowbells. As Federer takes the 3rd set, 6-3. All credit to him, because certainly, Dean, I thought at 2 sets to love, this one was done and dusted.
Well, definitely that's the way it looked like, but you know, also I think we have to consider that, you know, this is Roger's first finals appearance in the Tennis Master Series, and you know, I think that's a big moment for him. He's probably thinking about it a little bit, and it looks like to me like he's loosened up a little bit.
The fact that I think will be illustrated is when we have a look at the statistics for the 3rd set. You can see 11 winners to 6 unforced errors, so that's super. That's +5, and that first serve percentage. And as you made the point, he won even when he missed the first serve, which wasn't very often. He won every single point behind the second. So a terrific set for Federer.
Yeah, I think, you know, any time Federer is going to serve 74% first serves, you know, and then back that up with, you know, 100%, winning 100% points on the second serve, then he's going to win the set. So let's see if he can, you know, keep it going.
It's quite often you see a best of 5 set match where one player gets the first 2 sets, then the next one sneaks away and he reasserts himself in the 4th. So we'll see if that pattern will be followed, but so much will depend, I think, on the early stages of this 4th set, whether either of them can get the early break, the early advantage. The NASDAQ 100 Open, the new sponsors of this Master Series event in Miami this year, and having a super end to the tournament. Serena Williams, the new ladies champion, having succeeded her sister Venus. And now Roger Federer seeking to take over from the defending men's champion Andre Agassi. Agassi, the first 2 sets Federer the third, all by the margin of 6 games to 3.
Agassi to serve.
I think Andre maybe going to the well a little too often now. Federer looking for that wide serve.
15-all.
Just occasionally, Federer looks clumsy with his footwork.
I think he just gets a little lazy. He obviously is able to hit a lot of great shots from a lot of different positions, and sometimes his feet don't get going then like they should.
Oh, big point early in the fourth set. I know it's only the first game, but if Federer could just get an early break, maintain and build on the momentum. See some water in that well, maybe.
Yes. And, the thing is too, obviously with the first serve where you can go for it a little bit more, take a few more chances. It's obviously a tougher serve to return.
Oh,
Cheers.
Surprising miss.
Right now, it just looks like Andre's struggling a little bit there. His, he's not too confident with his shots. See if Federer can capitalize. It's a big miss by Federer right there. Andre not really doing a lot with that ball. Federer floating the slice long.
Agassi did something with that one. And he holds opening game of the fourth set.
First game, fourth set.
There were certainly half chances for Federer in that game.
Definitely. I mean, I think that point before at deuce that Federer, instead of again maybe being a little bit more aggressive, not taking a huge risk, but at least trying to do a little bit more with the ball instead. I think he was maybe feeling it a little bit, realizing that this was an opportunity, and he felt like all he really needed to do was keep a few balls in play, and that slice ended up floating a little bit long as a result of that tightness.
Won the fourth set. Agassi leading by 2-1.
Left versus. Left versus. 15 left.
A good start to Federer's opening service game of this fourth set, but it's so important for him not to fall behind. Allow Agassi to regain dominance of the match.
Andre really struggling right now. He just has lost his focus. You know, it's obviously tough over a period of best out of 5 set match to keep your concentration for the whole match, and I think you can definitely see that from Andre right now.
Very easy game for Roger Federer. His 4th love service game of the match, and Andre hasn't had a single one. It's the second overall of the match from Lars Graf. Let's see a few cat calls from the crowd. No protest from Federer.
Another unforced error from Agassi, and you know, Andre right now is just having trouble to control the point. You know, he whenever the opportunity is there for him to be aggressive, he's missing.
Yeah, and Federer is the man who looks the more likely at the moment. Again, half a chance. Boris Becker, great champion, of course. One of the men to have won over 700 matches in his career. Of course, still the youngest ever champion at Wimbledon, 17, while Michael Chang at the French. Well, it's too good, and Federer has 2 chances.
It's really starting to look now like Andre's starting to tire, you know, not as Federer there with the good forehand, but you know, Andre just not able to get there, not able to make a play on it.
13-14.
Of course, it is Andre's first best of 5 match of the year, having missed the Australian Open. Well, that's tame. And now we begin to think of this match going the distance. The Swiss flags are flying as Roger Federer moves ahead 2-1 with the break in the full set. And you were mentioning, Dean, that Andre's someone who works very, very hard on his fitness, but it is a hot and humid afternoon, and the guy is almost 32.
Yeah, those things definitely, you know, you have to take those into consideration. But I think also Andre's played a lot of tennis over the last 4 weeks. You know, got to the finals in San Jose, played 5 matches there, won Scottsdale, another 5 matches there. Lost first round last week in Indian Wells, but still, all that, and then also the 6 matches here, that's going to take its toll. And I don't care how old you are, it's going to take its toll both physically and also mentally. And I think we're probably starting to see a little bit of that as well.
Yes, he's played 16 matches in that period, won 14 of them. Because, of course, when he played San Jose, that was his first official tournament of the year. He played in the little exhibition only down in Kooyong, the old side of the Australian Open. He picked up the wrist problem.
Exactly, and it doesn't matter, how much you play, but I mean just coming out here each day in and day out, it's going to take its toll on you mentally and physically.
So fascinating scenario beginning to develop here. Andre Agassi in total command for the first hour and 10 minutes of this match. But now we begin to think of the possibility of Federer coming from behind to claim a first Master Series title. There's a long, long way to go yet. Listen to the crowd trying to raise Andre as Federer serves up a break in the 4th. 2-1. Quick serve, 121 miles an hour out wide. We all know the radar gun, the speed gun, records it fastest down the centre.
Federer now just glowing with confidence. You can see in the way he's carrying himself in between points that he's feeling pretty good right now.
First double fault of the match after an hour and 54 minutes. And only Federer's 6th double fault of the entire tournament. Very important moments here. Federer trying to consolidate the break. Agassi trying to turn this set around. Thought that lob would turn that point.
He did, but Federer, great athlete, able to get back for it and get it pretty deep back in the court.
Welcome to the commentary club, Dean. We all get our tongue twisted from time to time. But Federer doesn't get his serve twisted.
That point at deuce, one of those points I'm talking about. Federer there, serve volleying on his second serve, taking a little bit of risk, and it paid off for him.
He consolidates the break.
It'll be interesting to see now what Andre does. Some guys who are getting tired, up 2-1, but down a break in the fourth set, tend to maybe put it on cruise control and try not to expend too much energy. Save it for the fifth set and see if Andre does that here.
Well, there's his first double fault, and certainly the signs are at the moment he doesn't want to get involved in long points. A double fault after an early error. Oh, come on, guys, this is appalling. One double fault each.
15-13.
Appalling about this.
No, getting up to that ball in good position. Forehand cross-court winner. Federer a little hampered in that to try on that shot because of there's no singles net here at Crandon Park, unfortunately.
No, it's about the only thing that's wrong with this tournament is superbly run, but I don't understand why we don't have a singles net.
14-13.
Significant hole from Andre Agassi. Left 30 down in that game. Things on. Federer leads 3-2 in the fourth. Because I think we were both sensing at love 30 that Andre was beginning to really waver as to, well, how much energy, to use your word, he wanted to expend in this set.
Yeah, I think, it looked like, from those first 2 points that basically Andre was just going to, go for his shots, most likely make a couple errors since he didn't look like he was really too sharp at that point. But, he ended up bearing down and got a few balls back in play. And actually, I think Federer maybe sensing, that what Andre was doing, tried to just get a few balls back and ended up making errors, again, getting a little tight, just knowing that, hey, I need to get a few balls back in the court here, let him make errors, and we're in the fifth set, but it didn't work out that way for him.
Roger Federer, former world junior champion back in 1998, won the Wimbledon Juniors, runner-up at the US Open Juniors, semi-finalist at the Australian Open Juniors, and won the Orange Bowl. Unofficial World Junior Championships played down here in Florida. Roger Federer continuing his comeback in the final of the NASDAQ 100 Open. Fourth set, Federer leads 3-2 and serving. Well, it's funny, when we reached the 1 hour mark, I said the way this match was going, we wouldn't reach the 2 hour mark. We have, and there could be quite a bit longer to come.
13.
Parity achieved by Roger Federer, winners and unforced errors. Big deficit for Andre.
14-15.
again, Federer there, kicking in the first serve, telling Andre, hey, go ahead and get it by me. Andre just not really getting out there, not taking that ball early enough.
Oh dear. Even I might have fancied that volley. I know you would have. Clever shot. It's shot, I remember Tim Henman using a lot when he beat Andre Agassi in the final of the Swiss indoors in Federer's hometown of Basel a few years back. A short angle to the backhand.
Exactly, and that's a shot you'd like to use against guys who move and pass really well. And when it's a little shorter like that, also someone with the two-handed backhand. Get a little shorter, that's tougher for them to get underneath the ball.
Good serve.
Federer now pretty content to keep the points as short as possible. He's obviously up a break and in the driver's seat this set, so doesn't want to be hitting a lot of balls.
It's a comfortable service game that time from Agassi to 15. Federer's lead is 4-3 in the fourth.
4 games to 3. New balls, please.
When you were mentioning Federer there, keeping the points short, would you be content with your player doing that against a guy who returns so well as Agassi, or would you be saying, come on, you've got to press for the second break?
Well, I think a lot of it depends on how they're feeling at that point. Hey, if they're just feeling great, like, there's no way they're going to get tired by the end of that match, then I'd like them to, keep competing each game and try to their best ability, to win the points. If that means hitting a lot of balls, then they should do that. Some of it depends, too, on the style of the player.
And you can see that Andre has the signs of the tiredness that Dean's been talking about. A lot more unforced errors in this set from Andre. We've got quite some way to go, at least 2 more games, and here's the winners by set. And Andre's supply of those has really dried up. He hasn't really been cracking his ground strokes. I suppose the other side of Federer not pressing forward quite as much as we might have anticipated is that he isn't giving Agassi the target quite as often.
Exactly, and I think, too, a little bit in that, maybe Andre, like I said, this match and also the match against Johansson that I watched, I wouldn't say Andre was particularly sharp, but as I said, there's times where players are going to go out and feel that way. But, Andre's doing a great job, has been doing a great job of competing and finding ways to win the matches, and for him that's been keeping a lot of balls in play.
Terrific reception. players as they come out, with Federer 4-3 up in the fourth, trailing by 2 sets to 1. New balls in play. They've been on court now for 2 hours and 6 minutes. 125 miles an hour, fastest serve of the match.
Still rolling along, feeling it on his first serve. This set is 75% of his first serves in. And again, doing a great job on his second serve to points won with 80%.
Crowd sensing this might just be the moment for Agassi to get back in the fourth set.
See if Federer serves and volleys here, takes a chance.
Left.
Terrific point, and Agassi has the break back point.
Andre doing a good job of moving Roger around the court. Roger going for the big forehand, just misses it long. Again here, Roger has a tendency on big points down break point to serve and volley. Let's see what he does. All of a sudden starting to struggle with his first serve a little bit. Both players looking a little tired after that point.
Cheers.
There's Peter Lundgren and Darren Cahill. I bet they're a little dry-mouthed at the moment. The tension getting to the players, getting to the fans, getting to all of us.
Doing a good job of mixing up the speeds on the serve. Andre way ahead of that return.
Cheers.
That was not a percentage second set. Really going for broke, we'd say, what a genius if he pulled it off.
Exactly. Just barely missed it.
Second double brings up a second deuce. Second break point.
Advantage Agassi.
Federer trying to surprise Andre with serve volley on the second serve. Andre doing a good job of getting the return back low.
So that's an immense smash. We're so used to the top pros coming up with good smashes, but given the situation of the match, the sun in his eyes.
Good job. Forehand approach up the line. There's that great smash. Guessing right. Backhand pass up the line. Andre has an uncanny ability to do that when his opponent has a sitter to guess the right way.
Agassi breaks back. Down Cahill on his feet. And just when you thought we were going the full distance,
Andre doing a good job just getting the return back in play. Great lesson for young players out there that off a good serve, you know, at all costs, get the return back in play because you never know what's going to happen. Andre now with a little more life in his step.
Adrenaline flowing for Agassi. The crowd lifting him still further.
Federer barely getting to that ball. The overhead. That's the other great thing about that game is how matches can just turn and then return and go back for the other guy, and so you never know what's going to happen.
Believe it or not, that is Agassi's first love service game of the match, and he needs just one more game for a 5th title. In Miami. Agassi ahead, 5-4. Yeah, and I suppose we'll look back in that service game of Andre when he was already down a break and he was love 30 down, and we were saying, well, you know, here he's beginning to wobble. If that game had gone, the double break, it would have been so different.
Definitely, I think then Andre basically probably would have conceded this set, and we'd probably be starting the 5th right now. But as it turned out, you know, Roger, I think sensing that again, you know, got a little tight and didn't go for his shots like he'd been doing. And, you know, Andre, you know, once he won a couple of those points, I think felt like, hey, you know, I'm going to hang in there.
And I must confess, I've seldom seen a 4-set match in which the loser has won more points than the winner.
No, you're right. I mean, like you said, occasionally in 2 out of 3 set matches, you know, that'll happen. But usually the longer it goes,
or in a 5-set match, it's quite common to get to a 5th set tiebreak. I can always remember one of the ATP finals in Hanover, Germany, when Pete Sampras beat Boris Becker in a fifth set break. Boris had actually won more points. There's the golf course, which they play a senior tour event. The view down from the Goodyear blimp over the golf course at Crandon Park and the tennis centre beyond, which is a cauldron of noise now, because Andre Agassi, having been 4-2 down in this fourth set, now leads 5-4, and Federer is serving to stay in the match.
Nets versus.
That's impressive. Oh, yes.
Roger just not doing enough with that volley before that, giving Andre a second chance. Andre with the great backhand angle.
Federer just starting to panic, you feel. Not quite sure what he was trying to do on his second shot. Third, a horrible shank.
I think that's a sign, maybe a little nervous now. You know, didn't move his feet at all for that forehand.
The double fault gives Andre Agassi 2 championship points.
Federer upset after that. I heard someone in the crowd scream, "Come on, Agassi," just as Roger was throwing up his toss there on that second serve.
Versus. Please.
Well, that took nerve.
Agassi doing a good job taking that second serve. And the big return, but then Roger able to get it back deep and hit the big forehand. Save first match point.
Agassi has the title for a 5th time. He has his 700th career win. He wins the last 4 games of the match. And the old maestro has done it again. He may be 31 years of age, but in Miami, he's the top dog. No doubt about that whatsoever. Andre Agassi wins 6-3, 6-3, 3-6, 6-4. They love him. He loves winning in Miami.
Yeah, it's a great comeback story by Andre. Obviously a tough having to pull out of the Australian Open with that wrist injury, but he's obviously ecstatic. Able to come back so quickly. There are many people I think that are able to do that are able to come back after an injury and win a big tournament like this. Obviously, Darren Cahill, I think, having a big influence on Andre and helping to motivate him for this.
see what that means to Andre, because he would have sensed, you can see his signs, the camera for us, he would have sensed that she was just beginning to slip away from him.
Definitely, and you know, I think that's something, you know, that Roger, you know, had turned things around, had momentum on his side. Hopefully he's going to learn from this, and I think over the years it's going to make him a better player.
There's the match summary, so in the end nothing to choose between them in terms of the first serve percentage. Those double faults just crept in when Federer needed them most. You look at that stat, he had a deficit of 4 winners to unforced errors, and Andre a deficit of 13, but it was Andre who broke 6 times. Total points won, Andre Agassi 114, Roger Federer 113, and yet Agassi won in 4 sets. But frankly, it would have been a disappointment to me, Dean, if that had been a 3-set final. The fact that Federer won the third, got up a break in the fourth, made it a much more dramatic contest.
Oh, definitely. You know, I think, you know, coming into the match, you figured it was going to be a great match. And here was a guy, Roger Federer, who hadn't lost his serve all tournament, playing against Andre Agassi, one of the best, if not the best returner in the game. So you figured it was going to be a close, well-played match. You know, as it turned out, you know, it was very close. You know, Andre, like I said, I don't think he was as sharp as I've seen him in the past, but he did a great job of competing, finding a way to win.
Really sense how excited Andre is of having won this title for the 5th time, just as his wife did. Steffi Graf, 5 times the champion in Miami. And now Andre Agassi. Now in a moment we'll be handing you over to Tony Trabert of CBS for the presentation ceremony. Tony, of course, great Grand Slam champion in his own time. As we look down on this magnificent stadium court, packed to the rafters today with 14,000 people in, which is the drawing power of Andre Agassi. We're just waiting for that ceremony to begin, as our colleagues from CBS television in the United States are on a commercial break. Now they're just back, showing the moment of victory for Agassi. Andre Agassi, the champion. Tony Trabert will take you through the presentation ceremony.
A member of the International Tennis Hall of Fame. Please welcome tennis legend Tony Trabert.
Thank you much. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a great hand for these 2 wonderful champions? Thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce the gentleman who started this tournament back in 1985, the tournament chairman, Mr. Butch Buchholz. Butch?
Thank you, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my opportunity to say thank you to some very special people. Representing our 1,000 volunteers that we have and all of our ball children and lines people, Diane Thompson and Tracy Knight. Would you please say hello to them? I would also like to say a special thanks to Vivian Rodriguez, who's the head of Dade County Parks Department. They've done a great job in helping us put this on, and we're very, very appreciative. And to my right, a young gentleman who is basically responsible for the day-to-day operations and the staff and putting this whole thing together, Mr. Adam Barrett. And my brother Cliff, who's been here with us for 18 years, who's as a tournament director, and he's done an unbelievable good job. Great job. Alan Mills has been with us for 18 years as our tournament referee. What a great job he does. And the head of men's tennis, the head of the ATP, Mr. Mark Miles. We obviously couldn't do this without the support of our sponsors, and our presenting sponsors this year was ADT, Security Services, the president, Mr. Mike Snyder. And to the new sponsor and the president and CEO of NASDAQ 100, Mr. Wick Simmons. And a special thanks to you, our fans, who we wouldn't be able to do this without all your support. We look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Butch. Now I'd like to ask Roger to come forward. Roger, as you can tell, you have a lot of fans here, and they were pulling hard for you. You did a great job. You've had a wonderful tournament, and you almost got right back in this match.
Yeah, I was very close in the fourth, but Andrew started to play better, so it was tough for me. Yeah, and of course, I love the fans. They were great for me all week long, and it's a great tournament.
Can we look forward to you coming back next year?
For sure, I'll be here.
All right, thank you very much. Now we'd like to have Wick and Butch present the trophy to our runner-up.
Roger, congratulations on being the runner-up in the first NASDAQ 100. Great tournament.
Runner-up today, but won't be at all surprised if he isn't lifting the shield soon.
Please. There was a time when Pete Sampras said Wimbledon was his living room. This must be your living room. Your fifth title here, your 700th victory on the Pro Tour. Congratulations.
I tell you what, I've just always loved coming here and playing over the years. It's been a lot of years here for me. I've had some very disappointing weeks, but I got to tell you, there's been about 5 special ones that I'll never forget the rest of my life. And I have all you fans to thank for not just supporting me in times when things are going well, but for all those years that you supported me even though things weren't going so good. I'll never forget you. I love it here. Thank you.
You going to come back next year?
Of course I will. I definitely look forward to coming back next year. You know, I mean, what is this, my 16th year? So 17 next year. I'm looking forward to it. A quick thank you to Gary Kramer and his security and valet for not only keeping us all safe during this time in the world, but for keeping my car up front the whole week. It was very. Just a big thank you to the NASDAQ 100 for coming here and coming through for the game of tennis. And I think today tennis gave back a lot to you. So thanks so much for sharing this with us.
All right, Andy, congratulations. And now, Wick, the presentation is beautiful, wonderful, crisp.
Great. Congratulations on being the champion of the first NASDAQ 100 Open. Great match.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2002 NASDAQ 100 Open champion, Andre Agassi.
Yes, great champion indeed. 5 times the champion here in Miami. Simply the best. He's the champion for the 5th time. Andre Agassi.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special presentation to be made by J. Wayne Richmond, Executive Vice President of the Americas ATP. J. Wayne.
Thanks, Tony.
So there we are. We've come to the end of the first two Tennis Masters Series events of the year in Indian Wells and Miami. My thanks to Dean Gelfine for joining us throughout the two tournaments, and particularly today, and enjoying your week off with your family, and then over to Europe, I guess.
Yeah, going to have actually a month off, so I'm not going to be going over to Europe too early. But I'll be over there for the Tennis Masters Series tournaments in Rome and Hamburg.
We'll look forward to seeing you there. Thanks again. My thanks in particular to our production team. It's been a real joy for me to work with them. All the cameramen, all the VT engineers, all the sound guys, and all our backup crew for the last 2 years and a bit. They will continue to bring you outstanding coverage of the Tennis Masters Series. But as we leave you with the images of a quite outstanding final, for me, David Mason. Goodbye.
You've seen this tournament through many ups and downs, and early on, there's a lot of players I remember that wouldn't show up here that didn't play here. And since that time, you've turned this into literally one of the greatest stops on the tour. You've given so much to each player as an individual. You've given so much to tennis. And I just want to thank